Spirit Bus fam, welcome. Episode number 44. Grab yourself your favorite beverage, get yourself a blankie, some socks. Excited to take a little ride with you.
Your spiritual beings having a human experience.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this earth experience. Same time as me. Here we are, another weekend. I hope that your week went well. I hope that you were able to learn from the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns. Perhaps you've been embarking on the ascension healing practices that were introduced over the last 3 episodes, or maybe you've just been working on your own practices, being or becoming diligent with your own personal sadhana. If you aren't familiar with the last 3 meditation slash practices, they're at the beginning of each of the 3 last episodes if you want to catch up. Today, number 4, again, drawing from G.P. Martinez, Jacobo Grunberg's work, both good, great places to study, to take a little dive into connecting to the quantum field, connecting to the synergic fields. The knowledge is just gold. It's just rich with possibilities. So I invite you to grab your notebook, your journal, your preferred recording device, so that we can try to practice the following over the next week. A reminder, check in, adjust anything that I say that you do not feel aligned with, adapt it so that it feels like it's your own. So for this activity, it's going to be daily, sitting in that comfortable position. Perhaps maybe it's the same position that you would meditate in. And you're going to practice feeling your aura. For every person that talks about this out loud has a little bit of a different description about what that feels like. It can feel in your mind's eye like a light. You can kind of see it in your mind's eye. It can feel a little fuzzy. You're going to practice feeling your aura, your energy field that surrounds your physical body. And once you kind of can feel that, or have some type of visualization about it, then you're going to practice connecting that energy field, your aura, outward, connecting with different realms, with the universe, connecting with maybe other people, animals, a different geographical location. So it does have a feeling component to it, and then also it has a visualization component, because you're kind of taking a journey in your mind's eye while you're doing this. You're also, though, in that observer state of mind that we're practicing living in full time, because at the end of every one of these practices that you do daily, you're going to reflect and write down what you experienced. Like, what did you feel in your body? Did any emotions come up? Was there a certain place that was harder to connect to than a different place? What did it feel like when you practice connecting your energy with another person's energy? What were the barriers? What were the strengths? What went right? So it's just really some reflection at the end of it so that you can strengthen your experience while adding on to the last three, uh, meditations slash practices that help strengthen your ability to create reality. Another part of this is really working hard on strengthening your relationship with your internal guidance system. So, throughout this, if you feel like something is pulling you to, let's just say, for example, stand up instead of sit down during this, then do that. Lean into that and see. If you do then stand up and you say, okay, well, that didn't really feel connected, perhaps that wasn't your intuition. Maybe that was an automatic thought. So you're learning the difference between what is your intuition, your automatic thoughts, what are your downloads, what is messages from your guides, source energy, fill in the blank of the language that you use. But you're learning to understand the differences between what it feels like in your body, what it sounds like, perhaps. And so this activity not only helps you have your energy reach to other dimensions, so to speak, it also teaches you a lot about what's going on within your internal state in the here and now. And of course, leave a comment. I would love some feedback to hear, what was your process? What did you end up adjusting this? Was there something completely different? Were you walking while you're doing it? Did you need to hold on to a certain object? Like, what did you discover about yourself? Would love to hear in the comments. Yes. So, goodness, this week, it has been intense. It's been intense, has brought about so many different energies to reflect on. To begin though, is a reminder for those of us in wintry locations or those of us in sunny locations that are isolating, is find the sun. Find the sun. Check your weather app if you need to. Look out the window to see if you're noticing any blue skies. Take a moment, allow the sun, step outside, first of all, get out of your home, not through a window. Step outside, allow the sun to shine on your third eye, your crown chakra. And this message, this keeps coming to my awareness stronger than ever, over and over and over again, especially the part where we're looking for the clear blue sky in the day. Not exactly the cloud seeding haze. If you know on that. But the clear blue where you're getting that direct sunlight with nothing hindering it right there just for a few moments. It doesn't have to be long. It's not talking about being outside, to any detriment to yourself, no burns happening. But it is really important to fill the cup up. There are so many benefits of the sun, and many of us are completely removed from it due to various locations we live in, due to the if you know kind of parts, isolation, all sorts of different reasons. Perhaps you're listening to my podcast because you too are searching, healing, connecting the synchronicities, the mystery of this earth experience. To be able to hear me, that means that, well, we're tuned in to the same radio channel, the same frequency. Otherwise, all my words right now would just sound like gibberish to you. So, what I've found through my earth experience is that everything is connected. if we have the ability to see, sense, and understand it. I like you, I don't have it all figured out. But I'm blessed to continuously receive more and more information weekly on how to transform, you know, into our favorite versions of ourselves, which means to allow our most free, authentic self to have this experience versus our limited belief self, our traumatized self. But to do this means that the path that we're walking on often needs to change. And this might mean many different things depending on someone's personalized journey. Everyone's path looks different. So for some, it might mean leaving their geographical location, quite literally, walking a completely different path. For others, it might mean developing new neural pathways in the brain, rewiring the nervous system, all of it, parts of it, transforming in various ways. Regardless of what the path is, uncomfortability will be present. The process, it's going to call you to tell a different storyline about yourself, to how you describe past versions of yourself, what you've been through, current version of yourself. It's shedding the limitations while keeping the resiliency. It's reminding yourself that you are not the story that others have of you. Many people might carry on like an unbecoming story of who you are through their perception. But part of this transformation is knowing that you don't need to play that role. You are the main character in your life experience, living out a story that matches your favorite version of yourself once you come to that level of awareness. This does not mean lie. In fact, the opposite. This means to be your ultimate truth. See, many of us tell our story in a way that dumbs us down or keeps us a victim or only focuses on what went wrong, how horrible we felt, or the mistakes that we made. And then we memorize those emotions and those nervous system responses and those thoughts, and then they become persistent, and they become the story that we told ourselves of who we are. And this doesn't mean that we haven't validated ourselves for the pain. This simply means that we see the resilience and we tell that story over and over. Some may feel a sense of ego or may be thinking that it is egoic. This is not about that either. We don't need to proclaim this new story. We tell our story through our vibration. It ripples out the more aligned we become. So sometimes, yes, we verbally share our story, our strengths in an environment of safety, perhaps, which that shifts. Safety becomes a larger and larger in your reality as the healing process unfolds. Most of the time, though, it's not a verbal expression, it's through action, it's through energy transfers. We all have a running storyline, a script, so to speak, that we share verbally or energetically. This is becoming aligned with our new script that is playing in our energetic field. And see, the reality around us responds to the script that is playing. Pay attention, and you can see it. You can also see that when you adjust the script, the reality adjusts. So changing your story changes you. Part of that, though, is learning a new you by practicing that in the here and now. A lot of us know, or reminder, that sometimes change can happen so fast that it propels you quickly into a new version of yourself. Most of the time, however, it's gradual. It's often breaking down intentional desired change into bite-sized pieces for the most effective long-term version of you. Slowly transforming with small intentional acts of discipline, which become second nature over a period of time. You can see this in a simple change, such as drinking a glass of water first thing in the AM before caffeine. For a period of time, you have to remind yourself, drink that glass of water before you have the coffee or the tea. Oh, remind yourself, drink that glass of coffee, that water. But after a period of time, it becomes habit. It becomes part of you. It's part of your story. The process of telling a new story for some, it can result in isolation. It's as if you've been on a radio station for a period of time and then desire to be on a new radio station and alone. Easy peasy. You're able to switch to that new radio station, no problem. But you notice that when people or certain people enter, immediately you're back on that previous radio station. It's important to recognize the old station that you fall back into when certain people are present. Is the old station detrimental? Is it physically, spiritually dangerous? Can be really complex because each person that we encounter brings about a slightly different station, as we all have like a very unique one to begin with. Some pair so lovely that it just sounds like one song playing. Others clash and the sound hurts. You can feel it in your nervous system. Sometimes we fall into great illusions, pointing the finger at another person, believing that they're impacting our station. But when we're alone long enough, we realize we go back to that station on our own, especially under difficult times. Of course, if we need to completely disconnect certain links to old stations because it's dangerous, I also think that it is so vital to work on staying grounded, centered, tune into our own station regardless of who's present. Meditation is a great tool to assist, to help us practice transcending ego, thoughts, obsessions, worry. Not that they're not present, but it's being able to be the observer amongst them. So then when life throws you an arrow of some sorts, you feel the pain, you see it, you understand it, you observe it, you stay steady on your station instead of switching to an old station that might appear to be one of escape, but it's really shooting more arrows to yourself back to back to back. Of course, though, trusting when you need to isolate, when you're off balance. Also loving yourself, not holding any shame or guilt when you fall back into that old station that you're working so hard to disconnect from your frequency at all. And you'll know during that spiritual journey, the healing journey, physically, our nervous systems will not feel comfortable, aligned with a station that we're not meant to stay on, or stations that you're not meant to interact with any longer. You can feel it in your nervous system when the connection with another person isn't meant to be any longer. Maybe perhaps their station is full of, hypersexuality or materialism or some other frequency, that does not align for you to visit with, except for maybe in small increments. Sometimes the stations can, like I said before, be so detrimental that we can't visit at all. But a big part of this transformation, it's finding people that inspire you. They inspire you to outgrow your station. And you continue to outgrow that station over and over and over again. And finding people that enjoy talking about the station that you are on. Not bringing each other back, into past versions of yourselves. Not switching each other back on to channels that you've already said goodbye to. Cherish your attention. What you focus on is your reality. Many people don't go give their physical selves sexually out just willy-nilly, right? But so the same goes for our energy. Energy exchanges are just as powerful as sexual exchanges. We are swapping energy. Another reminder, which I believe I've mentioned before, but if you notice someone working towards being on a different station, you can see them working hard on it. Be mindful, be aware. Don't pull them back, out of your own immediate gratification. Don't try to pull them back onto a past station that you know that they're not aligned with. This change, this healing journey, it's transforming many patterns of domestication. Some patterns that have been repeated for generations. Patterns that are so ingrained that even without being forced to do them, we continue. Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., the mastery of self, he calls this self-domestication. We are domesticated, and then we continue to adhering to the domestication. He shares, self-domestication is the act of accepting ourselves on the condition that we live up to the ideals we have adopted from others in the dream of the planet, without ever considering if those ideals are even what we truly want. So it's time, fam. It's time to rewire. It's time to check in. Like, do we even want, the station that we're on? Do we want the conditioning that has been given to us? It's time to change our stations to one that we're more aligned with, to one that we can be our favorite, most authentic, most healed version of ourselves, so we can experience persistent joy instead of persistent fear, so we can help heal generations to come, so we can change the collective. Perhaps learning from Hindu goddess Sita, complete devotion, intense strength, loyalty. For we're really unable to fully give that to another person if we struggle to give it to ourselves. 3-card drawing from Osho deck. First card, adventure. Great reminder. Through all this healing, through all this changing into a new station and changing into a new channel, and making sure that our frequencies are aligned, we're our favorite version of ourselves, is we cannot forget that this is an adventure. We don't want to get so rigid that we can't find the fun in the healing journey. Of course, it's not all going to feel great, right? We talked about that uncomfortability, but we do still have all of those emotions available to us, the wonder, the excitement, the adventure of it all. Second card, patience. You're going to go through all the different phases of yourself, just like the moon phase, and having patience. The version that you are now, the version that I am now, we don't even have awareness yet of some of the things that we're going to be working on, and finding the adventure in that and the fun in that. And having patience, as we're not talking about perfection right now, ever. Last card, existence. Remember, no one is the expert on your existence. How could they be? No one has had your exact shaping experiences. Exactly. No one has had your exact life. You're becoming the expert. You're learning how to. We're all learning how to be the expert on our own life. We can see everyone as teachers. We're always a student. So remember this existence. You're forming it with every single thing that you do. And sometimes we're programming the reality for wonderful, wonderful things. Sometimes we get caught in those old channels and we realize, oh no, there I go. There I go, dialing back to a station that I don't want to be on. Okay, no shame, no guilt. Let me move forward. Let me adjust. And sometimes we realize that we're playing out the dream of the planet. We're getting caught in who we've been told that we need to be. We've been caught in generational trauma. So fam, what are we going to create? We're so powerful. We can create complete different realities here. And I'm very grateful to be having this earth experience the same time as you, to be a creator of reality together. If you're listening through this whole thing, please leave a comment. You know, would love to hear that you're present, that you took a ride. You took this little journey. You stepped into my reality for a little bit. And thank you to the TikTok subscribers, to TikTok lives. Thank you for the donations, for ad-free content. I appreciate everyone that is supporting, my creative reality, my healing journey, allowing it to ripple out, that perhaps it will help someone else with theirs, which is a great honor. Thank you. I appreciate you. Till next time.
Thank you for tuning in. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.